Hello. For the year of 2025, I gave myself the challenge, I guess, of listening to an entire album every single day of the year, so that by the end of the year, I would have listened to 365 entire albums. And I wanted to do this, one, to revisit old songs and artists that I used to love or that I forgot that I loved, and two, to expand my music taste further. I also wanted to do this because I feel like people don't sit down and just listen to music anymore. People think they always have to be doing something while they're listening to music, but like, it's okay to just sit and hear the words and the melodies and the instruments and just sit with the music. And I feel like people don't listen to albums in their entirety anymore. I feel like people will just click on an album and only listen to one or two songs or listen to the popular song, and that's fine, but in my mind, I'm thinking that the artist made this piece of art, this collection of songs, and put them in this specific order to be listened to for a reason. And so with this challenge, I'm just trying to, I guess, listen to the albums in the intended way that the artist intended it to be listened to. So yeah, I just thought that would be fun and a nice thing to try to keep up with throughout the year. So that's just some quick background of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So yeah. So today I'm gonna be going through the first 100 albums that I've listened to. Since it's already, at the time of recording, it is May. It's May. So 100 days have definitely passed. Sorry I put off making this video because I was lazy, but we're here, so whatever. This is gonna be the first 100 albums that I've listened to. So I guess the first third of the challenge, I guess. So, woo, we're already making a lot of progress. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about the albums for a bit and let y'all know what I thought about them, if I think y'all should listen to it, and then also my top 3 songs from each album, because I don't think there's been a bad album yet. And obviously that's subjective and up to personal preference, but I really feel like every album there's been at least 3 songs that I've really enjoyed. So without further ado, let's get into the albums. Okay, so the first album number 1. Also, this isn't gonna be in the order that I listened to them. The way I did it, I just wrote down a bunch of albums as they came to me, or as I saw an album that I wanted to listen to, and I just put it in the list. But I didn't like go down the list in chronological order to listen to them. I just kind of picked which album I felt like listening to that day. However, the one album I do know when I listened to it, I guess, is Liminal Space by mxmtoon. That was the very first album of the year, of the challenge. I loved mxmtoon already before listening to this, because I love like indie pop music, or like that's a genre I really like, and she does that really well. So yeah, Liminal Space, my top 3 songs were Rain, Passenger Side, and VHS. Definitely check it out. The next album is going to be Kansas Anymore by Role Model. Great album. I mean, all of these are great albums, but great album. Top 3 were Slip Fast, Slut Era Interlude, I don't know if I can say that, sorry, and Sun Protector. Really great, really great. The next ones, we're just doing all the Fiona Apple albums. So Tidal, top 3 for me, The Child Is Gone, Slow Like Honey, and Sullen Girl. Great album. All of Fiona Apple, just anything Fiona Apple is really great. Next album is gonna be When the Pawn. Personally, my favorite Fiona Apple album. Top 3 are Fast As You Can, I Know, and The Way Things Are. But I also really love Love Ridden. Okay, next album is gonna be Extraordinary Machine by Fiona Apple. My top 3 are Oh Well, Window, and Get Him Back. The next album is going to be The Idler Wheel by Fiona Apple. My top 3 are going to be Valentine, Left Alone, and Largo. After that, we have Fetch the Bolt Cutters by Fiona Apple, her most recent album, which actually won a Grammy, so as it should. My top 3 are Ladies, I Want You to Love Me, and Cosmonauts. Now that we're done with all the Fiona Apple albums, the next one is going to be Charm by Clairo. So my top 3 were Terrapin, Pier 4, and Second Nature, but I had a big phase where I listened to nothing but Thank You and Add Up My Love, so those are really good too. The next album is going to be Fake It Flowers by Beabadoobee. My top 3 for that are going to be Care, Diet Red, and Worth It, but I also really love Together. After that, we're gonna have Beatopia by Beabadoobee, and this one, just amazing album. I love Beatopia, and it was really hard to pick just 3, so there's gonna be a couple honorable mentions. But the top 3 I came to were 1036, sorry if that's kind of basic or whatever, 1036, See You Soon, and Fairy Song. But I also wanted to mention Don't Get the Deal, Love Song, and Talk. Love those. Sorry if I didn't mention your favorite. Those are my favorites. And then yeah. The next album is gonna be This Is How Tomorrow Moves by Beabadoobee. My top 3 were Beaches, A Cruel Affair, and This Is How It Went. But I also really love California. And I love Beabadoobee, clearly. Beabadoobee shirt. She was great in concert, if you were wondering. The next album is gonna be Celebrity Skin by Hole. My top 3 were Petals, Awful, and Celebrity Skin. Next album's gonna be Live Through This by Hole. So my top 3 were Miss World, Jennifer's Body, and Rockstar. And Live Through This I liked a lot more than Celebrity Skin. The next album is gonna be Preacher's Daughter by Ethel Cain. First of all, 10 out of 10 album, literally amazing. It's a work of art, so I'm glad I listened to it in its entirety. It is a bit lengthy, but it's amazing, so you're not gonna have a bad time listening to it. So boy. But yeah, so my top 3 for Preacher's Daughter were Televangelism, Strangers, and Sun-Bleached Flies, which was very difficult to decide on. And sorry if that's like basic, but I like what I like, so get out. The next album is gonna be Masterpiece by Big Thief. My top 3 were Masterpiece, Paul, and Vegas. After that, the next album is gonna be Prelude to Ecstasy by The Last Dinner Party. Amazing album, and it's their debut album, which is crazy that they know what they're doing this early on in their careers, but go off, I guess. My top 3 were The Feminine Urge, On Your Side, and My Lady of Mercy. The next album's gonna be Solar Power by Lorde. And my top 3 were Mood Ring, Secrets from a Girl, and Oceanic Feeling. Great album. Next up, it's gonna be Bright Future by Adrian Lenker. I don't know, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So my top 3 are gonna be No Machine, Sadness as a Gift, and Bright Future. After that, we're gonna have Songs by Adrian Lenker, where my top 3 are Forwards, Beck and Rebound, Zombie Girl, and Come. LOL. Come. But yeah, definitely for all these albums, please give them a listen. Okay, up next we have Flower of the Soul by Liana Flores. Great album. I feel like it's perfect for just spring. Spring vibes, like going on a nature walk in the forest. If you want a song that reminds you of just spring, or an album that just reminds you of straight up springtime, Flower of the Soul by Liana Flores. My top 3 were Orange Colored Day, Halfway Heart, and I Wish for the Rain. After that, we have Sunburn by Dominic Fike. My top 3 were Think Fast, Dancing in the Courthouse, and Sick. Then we have Underdressed at the Symphony by Faye Webster. My top 3 were Underdressed at the Symphony, Thinking About You, and Time. But yeah, Time. After that, we have Kid Crow. Okay, after that, we have the Conan Gray albums. Kid Crow, my top 3 were Little League, Checkmate, and Affluenza. Honorable mention, The Cut That Always Bleeds, because it's awesome. After that, we have Super Ache my top 3 are Disaster, Jigsaw, and Astronomy. And then for Found Heaven, my top 3 were Fainted Love, Forever With Me, and Bourgeoisie's, but I also really like Lonely Dancers. Next, we're going into all the Lana Del Rey albums. So for Born to Die, we have National Anthem, Off to the Races, and Lolita. For Ultraviolence, we have Florida Kilos, Black Beauty, and Shades of Cool. For Lust for Life, my top 3 were Beautiful People, Beautiful Problems, Tomorrow Never Came, and Get Free. Also, side tangent, Lust for Life is so slept on, and I feel like no one talks about it enough, but it has amazing songs, so get on that. Up next, we have Norman fucking Rockwell. My top 3 were How to Disappear, Norman fucking Rockwell, and Venice. So yeah, those are really good. Then we have Blue Banisters. My top 3 were Sweet Carolina, If You Lie Down With Me, and Thunder. But also Living Legend is really good. Okay, last Lana Del Rey album is that I've listened to yet. I know I didn't do Honeymoon or Paradise, even though that's an EP, and Chemtrails, but I'm getting on that in probably the next video. The next one's gonna be Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? And my top 3 were The Grants, Sweet, and Let the Light In. I know Let the Light In is kind of basic, but it was like, I think it was definitely my top 5 most listened to songs of last year, so I love it. So yeah. Also, Grandfather, Please Stand on the Shoulders of My Father While He's Deep Sea Fishing. Banger. Banger. It feels weird to say that about a Lana Del Rey song, but it's really good. Next album is going to be The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan. My top 3 are Casual, My Kink is Karma, and California, but I also really love Coffee. Now we're getting to the rest of the Lorde albums. I love Lorde. She was in my top 5 artists of 2024. Love her so much. Pure Heroine is going to be A World Alone, White Teeth Teens, and 400 Lux. Those songs, oh my god, I feel like no one talks about them, especially White Teeth Teens, which, hello, are you crazy? But whatever. For Melodrama, my top 3 were Hard Feelings / Loveless, Homemade Dynamite, and Sober, but I love Liability and Perfect Places too. Okay, up next we have Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. My top 3 were Deja Vu, Brutal, and Jealousy. Up next we have Guts by Olivia Rodrigo, where my top 3 were Pretty Isn't Pretty, Lacy, and Making the Bed. But I also really loved The Grudge. Okay, now we're getting into all the Ariana Grande albums. I didn't listen to Yours Truly, technically, in the first 100, so that'll be in the next video. So we're starting with My Everything. For My Everything, my top 3 were Break Free, sorry if that's basic, I love it, My Everything, and Be My Baby. But I also love the intro, so yeah. After that, we have Dangerous Woman. My top 3 were Into You, Moonlight, and Jason's Song. Then for Sweetener, my top 3 were R.E.M., Better Off, and Borderline, but I also love Goodnight and Go and Successful. Okay, after Sweetener, we have Thank You Next, one of my top favorite Ariana Grande albums. My top 3 songs were Ghostin', Fake Smile, and Bloodline. And then for Positions, my top 3 were My Hair, Love Language, and Worst Behavior, but I also really love Obvious and West Side. And then the last Ariana Grande album for this video is gonna be Eternal Sunshine, and my favorite songs, my top 3 favorite songs were Ordinary Things, Imperfect for You, and Eternal Sunshine. Cause like the transition from Saturn Returns interlude into Eternal Sunshine blew my mind the first time I heard it. It was crazy. Up next, we have all the Billie Eilish albums, and I didn't realize how little of her music I had listened to before this. I thought I knew her discography pretty well. I didn't. I knew like all the popular songs and that's it. But yeah, so for When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? My top 3 were Ilo Milo, Wish You Were Gay, and I Love You. For Happier Than Ever, my top 3 were Getting Older, Billy Bossa Nova, and Your Power, but I also really love NDA. For Hit Me Hard and Soft, my top 3, don't hate me, I personally didn't enjoy this album as much as the other ones, and I know it's like this big popular album and everyone loves it. I personally didn't. And that's just my personal taste. So don't hate me. But whatever. I enjoyed the songs, but I didn't find myself thinking that I would go back and listen to them on my own time. And that's okay. Not everyone's gonna like everything that's popular. But my top 3 were Skinny, The Diner, and Blue. The next album is gonna be Harry's House by Harry Styles. My top 3 were Grape Juice, Keep Driving, and Daylight. Love. Honestly, this album reminds me of my sophomore year of high school, which I don't know about y'all, but sophomore year was like peak high school for me. So yeah. The next album is gonna be Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. My top 3 are ICU, Garden Song, and Kyoto, because me and Kyoto, we've been like this for years, so don't even play. The next album is gonna be Stranger in the Alps by Phoebe Bridgers, which, fun fact, Stranger in the Alps was my first ever album that I bought on vinyl. So yeah, I came out of the gate with killer music taste. So whatever. My top 3 are gonna be Motion Sickness, Killer, and Funeral, but obviously I love Scott Street, so yeah. The next album that I listened to was 27 Demos by Margot Guryan? Again, sorry if I mispronounce stuff, I'm stupid, but whatever. My top 3 were Under My Umbrella, Something's Wrong with the Morning, and The Hum. The next album is gonna be Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic by The Sundays. I love The Sundays, so this was a great listen because I love their sound. Their lead singer, Harriet Wheeler, I think her name is, her voice is so pretty. So yeah, it was really fun to listen to The Sundays albums, which I listened to all 3, so yeah. My top 3 for this were My Finest Hour, I Kicked a Boy, and Here's Where the Story Ends. After that, we have Heaven or Las Vegas by the Cocteau Twins. My top 3 are gonna be Ice Blink Luck, Cherry Colored Funk, and Heaven or Las Vegas. The next album is gonna be Sixpence None the Richer by Sixpence None the Richer. My top 3 are gonna be I Can't Catch You, Anything, and Kiss Me. After that, we have She Hangs Brightly by Mazzy Star. My top 3 are gonna be Give You My Lovin', Be My Angel, and Before I Sleep. After that, we have Never Forever by Kate Bush. My top 3 are gonna be Army Dreamers, Babushka, and Blow Away. And after that, we have Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. My top 3 are I Don't Wanna Know, which I will stand by because it's such a slept on song. It's so happy and upbeat. It makes you want to dance. I feel like people don't even know it. So get on that, listen to I Don't Wanna Know by Fleetwood Mac, because it's a bop, it's a banger. I Don't Wanna Know, Dreams, and Gold Dust Woman. And then after that, we have Fleetwood Mac by Fleetwood Mac, where my top 3 are Sugar Daddy, Landslide, and Over My Head. But I also really love Rhiannon. The next album is gonna be To the Faithful Departed by the Cranberries. My top 3 were Free to Decide, I'm Still Remembering, and When You're Gone. After that, we have Among My Swan by Mazzy Star. My top 3 were Cry Cry, I've Been Let Down, and Flowers in December. After that, we have Tapestry by Carole King. I love Carole King because her music reminds me of my mom, and I love my mom. So yeah, my top 3 for Tapestry are It's Too Late, Smackwater Jack, and Will You Love Me Tomorrow. After that album, I listened to Rhymes and Reasons by Carole King, where my top 3 were Bitter with the Sweet, Come Down Easy, and I Think I Can Hear You. The next album is gonna be Come Away With Me by Norah Jones. My top 3 were Painter's Song, Turn Me On, and Lone Star. And then the next album is gonna be Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You by Big Thief, who actually just announced that they're going on tour. So hopefully I get tickets. My top 3 from that album were Blue Lightning, Certainty, and Red Moon. But I love Simulation Swarm, and Change was a really good song too. The next album is gonna be A Boot and a Shoe by Sam Phillips, which I discovered on my own, which I'm really proud of because it's a really cute album. My top 3 were Reflecting Light, If I Could Write, and Hole in My Pocket, but Infiltration is also really good. After that, we have Fan Dance by Sam Phillips, My top 3 are Love Is Everywhere I Go, How to Dream, and 5 Colors. After that, we have Movies by Slow Pulp. My top 3 are Falling Apart, Idaho, and Trade It. Okay, the next album is gonna be Blind by the Sundays. My top 3 were I Feel, On Earth, and Wild Horses. After that, we have Clouds by Joni Mitchell. My top 3 were Both Sides Now, That Song About Midway, and Chelsea Morning. The next album is gonna be Blue by Joni Mitchell. My top 3 are A Case of You, River, and Carrie, but I also really love California and Blue. The next album is going to be This Old Dog by Mac DeMarco. My top 3 were Still Beating, A Wolf Who Wears Sheep's Clothes, and One Another. And then after that is In Rainbows by Radiohead. I feel like Radiohead's not really my thing. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but there's still some good songs. My top 3 were Weird Fishes / Arpeggi, Nude, and Jigsaw Falling Into Place. After that, there's Por Vida by Kelly Uchis, I don't know, I'm sorry. My top 3 are Lottery, Melting, and Rush. After that is Titanic Rising by Wise Blood. My top 3 are Picture Me Better, A Lot's Gonna Change, and Andromeda. After that is the Carpenters album Carpenters, which is another album that reminds me of my mom. So I loved the songs, and the songs have a really special place in my heart. My top 3 are Superstar, Rainy Days and Mondays, and One Love. Okay, up next are all the Melanie Martinez albums. I know Melanie's controversial and stuff, but I'm just including these because they are albums that I've listened to. Okay, so for Crybaby, my top 3 were Cake, Training Wheels, and Sippy Cup. For K through 12, my top 3 were Recess, High School Sweethearts, and Strawberry Shortcake. And for Portals, my top 3 were Tunnel Vision, Nymphology, and Womb. The next album is going to be The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars by David Bowie. My top 3 are Moon Age Daydream, Suffragette City, and Soul Love. After that, we have Who Really Cares by TV Girl, where my top 3 were Loving Machine, For You, and Heaven is a Bedroom. Then we have Figure 8 by Elliott Smith. My top 3 are going to be LA, Stupidity Tries, and Pretty Mary Kay. After that, there is What Could Possibly Go Wrong by Dominic Fike. My top 3 are Whirly, Good Game, and Double Negative. Then I listened to Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. My top 3 are Shelter from the Storm, Tangled Up in Blue, and You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome. Okay, the next one is Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, which is one of my favorite albums ever. My top 3 are Love is a Losing Game, He Can Only Hold Her, and Wake Up Alone, but I also love Tears Dry on their own. The next album's gonna be The Kick Inside by Kate Bush. My top 3 are L'Amour Looks Something Like You, Oh to Be in Love, and Strange Phenomena. Then there is No Secrets by Carly Simon. My top 3 are You're So Vain, It Was So Easy, and We Have No Secrets. After that is Static and Silence by The Sundays, which is my favorite The Sundays album. My top 3 are When I'm Thinking About You, Summertime, and Cry, which those are really good. Definitely listen to that. The next album is going to be Heaven Knows by Pink Pantheress. My top 3 are True Romance, Ophelia, and Nice to Meet You. Then there is Bewitched by Leve. My top 3 are While You Were Sleeping, Haunted, and Serendipity. Then we have The Fame by Lady Gaga. My top 3 are Summer Boy, Paparazzi, and Beautiful Dirty Rich. After that is Debut by Bjork. My top 3 are Come to Me, Venus as a Boy, and Like Someone in Love. After that is Life by the Cardigans, which is one of my favorite albums that I've discovered through this challenge. My top 3 are Carnival, Beautiful One, and Fine, but I also really love Gordon's Garden Party and Daddy's Car. The next one is going to be I'll Cry If I Want To by Leslie Gore. My top 3 are Just Let Me Cry, The Party's Over, and No More Tears. After that is Frank by Amy Winehouse, which is her first album. My top 3 are Mr. Magic, No Greater Love, and Me Pumps. After that, we have Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. My top 3 are gonna be Busy Woman, Juno, and Bedchem. The next album is gonna be Haze by The Shacks. My top 3 are Haze, Follow Me, and Nobody Nobody. The next album is gonna be Alright Still by Lily Allen. My top 3 are gonna be London, Smile, and Nan, You're a Window Shopper. Okay, we're on the last 5 albums of the first 100. The next album is gonna be Holiday by America. My top 3 are Tin Man, In the Country, and Baby It's Up to You. The next album is gonna be The Red Shoes by Kate Bush. My top 3 are Rubber Band Girl, Constellation of the Heart, and You're the One. The next album is gonna be Glow by Alice Phoebe Liu, who I discovered because she was the opener for Clairo at my show that I went to, and she was really good. Her voice and stage presence is amazing, and especially amazing live. She sounds beautiful. And my top 3 are Only When I, Mother's Eyes, and Drive By. The next album is gonna be To Hell With It by Pink Pantheress. My top 3 are I Must Apologize, Pain, and Passion. And then the 100th album so far was Red Moon and Venus by Kali Uchis. I'm sorry. My top 3 were Blue, Hasta Cuando, and I Wish You Roses. So yeah, those are the first 100 of the 365 albums every day challenge. So thank you for watching. Sorry if it was kind of a yap fest. I didn't want the video to be like an hour long. So I definitely have more to say about each album and the songs, but I'll spare you and keep the video as short as possible. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you give some of these albums and songs a listen, because they definitely are worth it in my opinion. And I love you. Bye.